I did this story with you because you're a Washington guy, but the jock tax made it so that by winning the game and practicing down there, Sam Darnold has to write California a check for $71,000. What in the world is going on when that's happening?
Well, first off, go Seahawks. And, as somebody who's bleeding blue here in the Pacific Northwest, that was an exciting win over the Patriots for sure. California has been a state where this has been happening for a really long time. I mean, I actually try not to hire employees in California as a result of, this challenge, which is that every single time that you hire someone down there because they're in California, you get this extra tax that's assigned to these employees. And so Sam Darnold didn't get to choose where he was playing the Super Bowl or practicing that week. And then obviously California made a lot of revenue, but this disincentivizes people from doing things in that particular state. That's why we're seeing such a significant migration away from places like California going to Texas. Very specifically in 2022, 1,000 people a week were leaving from California and going to Texas. But Florida is another great place. You're in the great state of Tennessee. And so, we're going to be seeing more businesses make different decisions as it relates to, where they're going to be practicing, where they're going to be hiring, what they're going to be doing. And, this is just a perfect example of the toll booth tax that they have to pay to play down there in California.
So if I'm a governor of New York, Illinois, New Jersey, California, any of these big blue states, and I see the numbers like you just mentioned, how do I look myself in the mirror and say, we're going to continue with this strategy? This is a good strategy. I mean, we did a story on this show about Illinois losing a lot of people every year, right? With the U-Haul index, you've got any number of different things that you can look at to see who's leaving. But they are now replacing a lot of people back in Illinois, and they're bragging about it because the population is bouncing back. But what they're not telling you is those are migrants. A lot of them on state assistance, government assistance, or they don't make anywhere near as much as the people that left did. So on average, for every person they replace in the state of Illinois, it costs it's a difference of $40,000. What's that going to do to your tax base? I mean, these people, I don't understand how they can look themselves in the mirror and want to continue to do what they're doing.
I mean, Scott, they're destroying their economy. And when you have your 1%ers leave from high income tax states like New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Massachusetts, California, those are the big five, and you look at the inflation environment that we've been in, did things go down or did things go up? I mean, what they're just talking about is the census and how many electoral college votes that they're getting, which is a big reason why these states have been, so happy to bring in new migrants and new people because, ultimately they want to keep their political power. But this just brings up the important point of we have to have bigger conversations. The next couple of years, when you see these states, really hurting for tax, really hurting for capital to run everything, and instead of, making more efficient decisions and better economic decisions, they just raise the taxes again. They're going to adversely affect very specifically those job creators, those people that are bringing in revenue, those people that are, doing the things that are going to, ultimately matter for your economy. And which kind of gets me to my thought about, as a retirement planner, taxes are critical to be understanding for, where you live, how you're retiring. There's 101 different withdrawal strategies that people can employ in order to create a more tax optimal income plan. And so I think that it's very important to understand, ultimately that, tax diversification is as important as asset diversification. The difference between right and wrong is typically hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, depending on your financial situation. And so we've got to incorporate all these things as we're looking at personal families, or we're looking at places that we're going to be starting businesses, running businesses, hiring team members, et cetera. And ultimately, this adverse situation does not bode well for those places that are just kind of the runaway train here, looking for the tolls as people cross.
Boy, oh boy, it's going to take a big toll on them somewhere down the line here. All right, we got to jump. David, have a great weekend. Great to have you come on. I noticed you're in Dallas. Have a good time. Weather's a little bit better than
appreciate
probably where
you.
it is up by you in Washington. Appreciate you coming on the show.